The court will recall the matter of LaTronda Smith, case number 24W003161C.
Paul Barnett on behalf of the township.
Assistant Public Defender Davy Lebo, on behalf of Ms. Smith. Ms. Smith, could you say your name, ma'am?
LaTronda Smith.
Thank you. We're here for sentencing today. And have you had a chance to speak to your client both about the report and our discussion in the breakout room?
I have, Your Honor. We would be asking the court to accept the recommendation, and Ms. Smith will be making a statement to the court.
Ms. Smith seems to be shaking her head as if she's not agreeing with any of this, and I am very unhappy with Ms. Smith. And you know, for someone to lose one pet because of her, it's one thing, but to lose two, and for her attitude to be what it is,
No.
yeah, okay. Mr. Barnett, you'll get a chance to speak, Ms. Smith. Mr. Barnett, what would you like to say?
I've also reviewed the pre-sentence investigative report. I think the recommendations are fair. I understand that something additional may be required in this case, and I would support that as well. As you indicated, these are terrible circumstances under the best of cases. But when there's a lack of empathy or understanding from the defendant, it compounds the misery and the suffering of the victim in this case. And I think that's what's happened here. And I don't understand that, and I find that troubling. And I think that Your Honor should take that into consideration. There is a request that the victims made for restitution. I would ask that that be ordered as well.
Thank you. Ms. Smith, and now is your opportunity to say whatever it is you would like to say.
And first of all, I would like to say that she is a liar, because when this incident happened, the first one and the second one, the first incident was not my dog. I did apologize for it, and the owner of the dog had to go to court for that. But with her being my neighbor, I did apologize because I felt horrible, because we were good neighbors. The second incident was my dog, and once again, I did apologize. I went over to her house when I found out, because when the animal control came, I didn't know. I just thought my dog got out. I didn't know that he had killed her cat until after the fact. And so I went and apologized. And during that time, she was very belligerent, screaming and yelling and walking up on me. And the animal control lady asked me if I wanted to press charges on her. She spit on me. So she's a liar. We have been neighbors for a long time. We've never had issues. And when it happened, I felt terrible. And I did apologize to her multiple times. I offered to buy her a new cat. I apologized. And I can't believe that she would sit up there and lie and tell these people that I had no empathy. That's not true, because my kids, talked to her and spoke to her and, play with her cat, play with the cat, and I'm not the type of person to not have empathy. I can't believe she lied. And then all of the invoices came in the mail, but I was not working, so I couldn't pay. I think the girl had to pay for the first thing, her restitution. But never did she give me an invoice, and I threw it on her porch. That never happened. I'm not, I'm not a liar. I'm not a heartless person. I have you're not taking care of. And I've never, I didn't know when my dog got out. I didn't know until after animal control called me and she told me my dog was loose. She didn't tell me that he had killed the neighbor's cat until after I found the dog. And then I said, you know what? I'm just going to surrender him because he keeps digging out. I keep fixing the holes under the fence. She thought it was the fence that was broken, but he was digging out. So I was putting cement and bricks, and he was just digging. So I just told him, I surrendered my dog, you know, to the humane society because he's a good dog. He's a puppy. You know, and I, you know, I just can't believe he lied like that. That's why I was shaking my head. Like, I can't believe that you lied. You know, I'm still sorry it happened, but, I can't bring the cat back. I know my dog, my kids don't have to get that. And, it's nothing, I, can change the situation. I'm not irresponsible, pet owner. He just dug out. He's a digger. He's a husky, and they dig out. But I thought, I didn't know. It had rained, so the ground was really soft, so he just dug out. You know, you know. They said 12 months probation, 40 hours of community service. I was like, it's a little extreme. I've never been on probation or anything ever in my life. And, for the situation, I still feel bad.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. So here's the thing. Her version of what happened versus what I have before me are so completely different.
Yeah, I would never.
All right, Ms. Smith, do you have more to say? Because if not, then it's my turn to talk.
I'm sorry. I'm done. I'm done.
So she's telling me that when the animal control came, it appears to be someone named Echo Mears. That the victim in this case was so belligerent that she got questioned about whether she wanted to press charges. And she's also telling me that this is not the same dog that killed the first animal. All of that really matters to me. The truth matters to me in terms of what happened here. So do we know if Miss Mears is still with Ypsi Township or not?
She is.
Would we be able to get her here to find out whether what Miss Smith is saying is true or not?
We certainly could. I'm not sure we
Not
can get her here right
today.
now.
Right, yeah, not
Yeah,
today.
yeah, certainly
but-
we can, if we have an adjourned date, we can get her here.
And she's also saying that the first cat that died, I believe it was Bo, was not a result of her dog, but a different neighbor.
I think it
that-
was, if I might, Your Honor, I believe it was an animal connected to her address. So the actual owner of that dog may have been someone else, but it was residing or staying at her address. So the case before Your Honor really is the second incident.
All right. So you would accept and acknowledge that the first, I know which case is before me. I get that. But what I'm concerned about is whether she had two animals that got loose or not.
I think that's not as easy a question to answer as it might at first appear. I believe she's the owner of the residence, and in the first instance, the dog was staying at the residence and got out. It wasn't her animal, though.
Is that correct, Ms. Smith? I'm sorry, it didn't come through.
Yes.
All right, thank you. All right. I still would like to know more about what happened when animal control came to find out whether there's any truth to that piece of it. I'm going to adjourn this to July 16th because it really is going to matter to me in terms of whether or not we're looking at additional sanctions, just probation, no probation, MRT, all of those things matter to me. And Are the parties on this in agreement with respect to the restitution, or is there argument with respect to restitution as well?
If we could address that on the 16th, I do want to talk about that a little bit more with Ms. Smith if possible.
That's fine. We can address that. I think that, and I'll discuss that with Mr. Lebo too. It is a little confusing because of the two incidents.
All right. Thank you. I said July 16th, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
You did.
July 16th, 2025 at, I'm gonna make it at 10:30 a.m. We'll see you all then, so I can get a better understanding of what is going on in this case.
Thank you.
Thank you.